Hi there. I'm so glad you're joining me because today I've got this super exciting topic that I want to talk to you about because it sort of embraces a lot of things that I've been playing with and exploring over the last couple of years. So today I'm going to connect the solar flares with our conditionings and sort of look at the purpose of the indigo, the dismantling of the institutions, and sort of look at those. And I'm going to focus on ones that I know the most about and play with them with you. So let's just start. Okay. So hang in there, and I've got 5 tips for you at the end. Okay. So solar flares. They are these geomagnetic storms, they're winds, we can measure them on the Schumann resonance. We can go to spaceweather.com and we can tell when they're coming in, right? Of course. And they're activating our bodies and creating all sorts of changes. And we have all these symptoms that are affecting our cellular bodies. And we've talked about this. They're affecting us on some sort of cellular level that we didn't even know about, we didn't even think existed. And we're what's the way to say it? We're feeling crazy, we're feeling misunderstood, we're feeling reclusive, we're feeling activated, we're feeling angry. There's a whole bunch of things that come when our internal energy system is being activated. Now, if you're new to this channel and you want to learn more about solar flare symptoms, I have 2 or 3 that you can go back and look at in my archives, right? Okay, so this is really big. This is so big because we're being impacted on a mental, physical, spiritual, emotional level. And what's happening is all facets of our lives are being changed. And things that, whether it's our taste, whether it's the things we enjoy, the things that we used to self-medicate with, the people we love, the way that we work, all of these things are being impacted. Okay, so we know that the solar flares are impacting us. Now I want to bring in, about 2 years ago, I wrote a book called The Indigo Assignment. And it's very specifically about what happens when we introduce a new frequency into an existing field, into an existing homeostasis environment. So the indigo started to arrive in the late 70s. They are warriors. They are what's the best word to say that? They are warriors of light. They hold truth in their body, and they just don't have any patience for things that aren't in alignment with the human body and the human growth that's possible. So they are a frequency of dismantling and endings and stopping. So if you want that book, you can go over to Amazon and order it. It's really interesting. But the indigos came specifically to take off the institutional controls that existed for thousands of years here in our human population. So there are mass controls, and that involves conditioning, programming, and imprinting, using mental imprinting, using consistent behavioral programming and conditionings through the institutions, right? So there are so many institutions that we could talk about. This I know. And there are 3 that are my favorite ones to explore. Okay, so first is the familial, because when we're birthed, we have a mother, we have a father, that created the conception, right? Then we have the environment that we come into, those that are going to nurture and love us, and those that are going to hold their value systems on us that they learned through the generations. So that's where generation patterns, generational pain, generational expectations reside, right? So the second one is religious, because in order for the child to be raised, the child has the constructs of a religion that dictates things like marriage, death, um, christenings, rites of passage, right? So these are all the ways that the structures and the family is held into place. The third one is education, which is you have a child that is born who's held with the family, held with the religious values and systems, and then also is taught how to research, how to find their own facts, how to support the dogma of the first 2. So what happens is that education is teaching this, taking over our skills and potential. So these 3 major institutions, I believe, are the ones that are sort of starting to rattle us right now. Makes sense to me. Okay, so if you've been watching this, you know that there are institutions around you that are starting to wobble. The finances aren't looking great. The schools, the kids just haven't been back into the regular school things since COVID. Um, what else? Religion. Some of us are putting down our faith and saying, I practice other things, right? So within your lifetime, you've seen changes. It makes sense, right? That within your lifetime, you've seen these kinds of changes. So whether it's world or national, global institutions, right? These institutions can exist through conditioning, imprinting, and programming, right? And these are the survival society norms that we as a culture adhere to by design, right? They are also what I'm going to call the mental matrix of control. As long as you adhere to those, you're going to toe the line. And what's happening, I think, is that what if we don't toe the line anymore? What if our body's saying, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to put my kids in public schools. I don't want to work at this 9 to 5 job. I want a remote job. I don't enjoy being in the confines of this marriage anymore. And I know that it's going to hurt my family and my partner. And so these are the places where we're wondering, we're going like, I need some independence. I'm like feeling some freedoms. I'm having these invisible restrictions lifting off of me, and I don't know who I'm becoming as a result. So I'm going to connect that growth with the solar flares, that anytime something's buzzing on us and hitting us, right, with an energetic pulse, it's going to stir up that inner being within us that wants this kind of freedom, that wants this kind of ability to look ahead and go like, this is where I want to go. How do I get there? Right. So because I know that these flares are pummeling us for a reason, and they have been since what, October, November 2022. They're rattling loose the conditioning within us. They are freeing our cells to grow. They are helping us shed old confines. They're even power, I'm going to say, like, to some of us, are even like power washing off the conditioned debris that's been layered onto our bodies and our system, our energy systems. And if you've ever played with a power washer, the amount of gunk that's over and how beautiful the deck or the metal or whatever's been covered under slime or dust or dirt just starts to shine. That's what I think is happening with us, right? I think we are being power washed beautifully into something new. Okay, so I have 5 tips for you on how to navigate through all of this. But the first thing is I am going to have to do that plug, which is I'm an integrational coach and I've specialized in family, religious, and educational conflict within family systems for the last 25 years. I know how to help support you as you navigate sort of untangling some of these energetic systems that are within you. So if I can be of support, just drop me a message and my contact information is below. Okay. So tips. Wow. First tip, it helps if you view each offering, right? Every single offering that we have as support. Lost my total train of thought. So if we view each solar flare as offering us something, how do we see it as a support system? How do we embrace it? How do we ride with it? How do we say, yes, there you are. What do you need from me? Do you need more water? Do you need more more minerals, more nutrients? Do you need me to rest? Do you need me to slow down? And so when we welcome this and we track them and we prepare and then we welcome and we work with them, they don't have the same effect on us as they did before. Let's put it that way. They don't have the same effect, which I like. Okay, so that's the first thing, is that view each solar flare as offering you something and embrace that. Number 2, notice that they're big. And when they show up, they're going to show up and they're going to impact things like your dreams, your awareness, your internal knowledge. Your clairs are going to start to wake up. Your independent thought is going to start to wake up. Your need to sort of figure out how to be free is going to wake up. So then when you align with these energies, right, you get messages to yourself, which is like, oh, I'm starting to notice that there's repetitive numbers and symbols that are talking to me about about what my kids need, about my existing systems that I'm in. And these messages, they're going to guide you. They're going to help you because they're really something within you that's saying, I have information for you on the external who's blind to all this that's going on. I have internal information for you, right? So three, when we recognize that we're in this rocky time, whether it's internal, like doubt and fears and trust and wondering what to do. I'm going to move my paper here for a minute. Um, when we're in that place, right? Then what it makes sense is that moving into number three is how to trust yourself. That the things that you're noticing, the things that you're picking up on, confirm them, right? Confirm that they are conditionings and then start to watch them sort of move away. You get to decide how that happens and what you're feeling and noticing. But when you notice that they're starting to fall away. Look at them through the lens of conditioning because what we're going to see is TV, especially going into Super Bowl week next week. Watch the commercials, watch the dialogue, watch how we're being shaped in the new information with this profound social or media extravaganza that's been building up for weeks. You can turn it off, which is what I always do. Turn everything off and don't deal with the conditionings, or become the observer and watch them and trust yourself. Oh my gosh, I just saw that. They're telling us this now. They're telling us that now. It's really interesting. Number four, separate or in addition to or plus, right? Aligning with yourself, align with others. Talk to your partner, talk to your friends, contact people you haven't spoken to in a long time who you remember. Oh, I used to read tarot cards with her in college. Or, you know, um, whenever I bump into this person at the coffee shop, what happens is I feel really seen and supported. Reach out and start to talk to those people because those are the people who are going to say, I see what's going on with you, and this is amazing, right? Because that person understands and can help you see and feel and know and trust yourself as you're dismantling all of this old stuff that's been around you and in you for a long time. Makes sense, right? Okay. Number five, last one, which is the one I'm always going to talk about, which is to have compassion because we are under layers and layers and layers of conditionings. When some people are going to clean up really fast and they've been like regularly power washing, right? Someone like me who's been tracking this for 3 to 5 years, and I'm like, this is great. I know what's going on. Here we go. And there are going to be some that this is the first time, and every time one of these beams, one of these flares, one of these power wash beating water hits them, what happens is they get into fear. They get into control. They get into, I don't want to be here anymore. And so every layer of human reactivity to this flare energy is going to be scary or it's going to be freeing. Have compassion for anyone you see, including yourself, because this is all new. We don't know how to do that. That's why I'm doing this constantly on this, doing this topic constantly on this channel, which is to keep normalizing flares, normalizing change, normalizing energetic shifts, and allowing you to free up your energy. So thank you for tuning in. If you like it, please like it, follow it, subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you this information every week. You take care. Bye-bye.